Warmly welcome our two economists, Paul Krugman and Steve Moore. And why don't we have this American dream today?
So you were hoping, Mark, that Paul and I would have some sources of agreement, and I think already we do. Well over 8 million fewer jobs today than we would have if we had had the kind of recovery under Reagan.
I guess the question is, Paul, is this Obama's and the Democrats, are they the ones responsible for this, or is it George W. Bush who created the problem in the first place?
Okay, none of the above. Let's be clear. And actually, let me get my charts also.
Okay.
So Paul
Krugman,
let me get my first chart, because I actually have to say it's really kind of depressing to see people holding up the Reagan story, which is so obviously different if you pay any attention to the story, as that's the best argument? Really? That's the best argument?
Look, before we go into that, this is a really central point to the disagreement between economists on the left and the right. What this record shows, Paul Krugman, is that we actually had higher unemployment with the stimulus than the Obama people said we would have if we had done nothing.
This was a foolish forecast.
And by the way, I'll admit, I was wrong about the negative impact of the Clinton tax increase. I thought it would have a more negative impact than it did. However, it's also true that under Bill Clinton's presidency, government spending as a share of GDP fell substantially under Bill Clinton's presidency, right?
Will Obamacare eventually lead to socialized medicine and a single-payer system? And would that be a good thing, Paul Krugman?
I would like it to lead to single payer. It has been coming in way cheaper than expected. This is actually a remarkable success of public policy.
And the idea that if we have more government control of healthcare, we're going to drive down costs, it's never happened. Every time we've had an expansion of government healthcare, whether it's Medicaid, Medicare, S-CHIP, all these programs, they lead to an increase in the inflation rate in healthcare.
Does the minimum wage law cause structural unemployment?
I don't know what to say except let's go outside and duel with our econometric studies here.
You argue that that states with Republicans in control seem to have faster job growth.
There is one thing, and I will agree, there is one policy that tends to be substantially better in red states than blue states. It has nothing to do with taxes. It's land use. The Northeast and the West Coast are both the lands of NIMBYism. They are the lands of extremely restrictive land use policy.
And all of these countries that have turned to socialism, Greece, Puerto Rico, Connecticut, all of these places are going bankrupt because they're socialists.
The idea that we have a large number of people who are opting out of the economy, choosing not to work because of these generous social programs, just not true. Just not borne out.
Well, wait a minute. We had an experience. Look,
no, you want to believe it, no. But it just ain't so. So the fact that it's a vision of the world that you want to hold doesn't make it true.
Well, once again, I could argue the case that both Paul Krugman and Steve Moore won the debate.